Back inside Romney Stadium, second quarter just about set to begin. Spartans getting the special teams and their offense virtually unstoppable in that first frame, lead 20-7. I guess when you got to go, you got to go. We heard the official. We're starting a little bit late because he had to use the restroom.
Well, I thought he went to get the tractor to clean up the field, but I guess when you do, you got to go. You got to take care of business. But enough stops really disrupts the rhythm of it, especially on the offense. But I thought that Utah State really was sort of sleepy in that first quarter.
Aggies need to take care of business here. Almost throwing an interception, somehow deflected and caught for a first down. Whoa. Austin, how did he get that away from Thompson?
Thompson jumped the little slant route. Great concentration by Matt Austin to look the ball in.
Gain of 15 yards. Quickly now, here goes Turbin. Trying to make defenders miss. Up past about the 47-yard line. And this looked like an interception.
Peyton Thompson jumped right in front of the route. Should have picked that thing and gone the other way, but terrific concentration by Matt Austin, the senior, who, as you mentioned, leads the team in catches. Did a great job of looking that football in and giving Utah State's offense another set of downs.
Kennedy going to keep it himself. Trying to go to the outside. Looked like he had room up that middle to midfield. Third and probably about 6 coming up for Utah State.
You're right. Moats had his defensive back sealed. Kennedy, all he had to do was cut up inside. And again, Kennedy is not Keaton. And I'm curious that they have kept the same game plan. It looks like, whether it's Kennedy or Keaton, I just don't think that's Kennedy's strength.
Here is Kennedy. He's in trouble. And he's going to be dropped back at about the 44-yard line.
Morseval.
It is Anthony, the sophomore from Spring Hill Valley, California, coming in with 3.5 TFLs and 1 quarterback rate. That's his first sack of the season.
Now, Utah State last week against Hawaii, fake punt twice. Of course, that was with Morrison.
Well, Morrison, he was special teams player of the week last week with those 2 fake punts. This will be down at about the 23. Goes out of bounds. Actually, Harris kind of forcing it out. 13:05 left. Spartans yet to be stopped on offense. They lead 20-7. Back after this. Second quarter action, 13:05 left. Kevin, we kind of speculated off air. This is a big defensive series for Utah State.
No doubt about it. They have not been able to slow down San Jose State to this point. Excellent balance in the run and in the pass game. They've carried the ball 8 times for 34 yards, thrown it for 121 in the first quarter. Good balance of maybe not yardage, but at least play call, run, and pass mix.
And sometimes it's those attempts. You get so many, you don't necessarily need that huge hulking per average carry. Just if you get 40 attempts in a game, you're probably going to win the game.
No doubt about it. And again, you need to have that balance to at least keep a defense honest.
Yeah.
Utah State's going to start creeping up now a little bit to try to stop this short passing game. Well, that's where the offensive line for San Jose State in the run game can really make the difference. They can make those seams and those cracks in that short space that can really give them some opportunities.
Here's Irvin, who had the kickoff return for a touchdown. Nice play by McMillan getting in there, and it's freshman against freshman that time. Makes the stop.
But you don't go to the well too many times, I don't think, if you're San Jose State. I mean, it's one thing to keep the defense honest. You're not a very good running football team. You're probably not going to be a good running football team, especially against the defense that is the tops in the league. So you got to be careful and pick and choose when you do it. And where they're really good is in that intermediate to short passing game, especially with Ott, the tight end, and with Grigsby.
2:04 on third downs. Here's Faulkner with time. Double pumps, and it's caught by the tight end for a first down. Boy, Faulkner threading the needle that time. Just a small window, and Otten with another catch. He's been key here for the Spartans, and you know, looking at his stats, you thought he would be.
Excellent job by the offensive line, giving Faulkner time. And a little out and up move again, a little double move by Otten. Couple receivers in the same area. Dangerous play for San Jose State. He might have been going to Chandler Jones on that one, not Otten. But a really nice move by Otten on a little double move against Bobby Wagner, who right now is getting beaten by Otten in this game.
Pick up a 14 yards. Again, Tyler Irvin, the 5'10", 170-pound freshman. He was a corner when this season started, kind of a special teams player too, but because of the injury to David Freeman, inserted him as a running back. He made his debut against BYU. On the year, 25 carries, 100 yards, and 1 touchdown coming to this game, but already has had an impact on special teams with that 95-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. The passing yards certainly one-sided. And that's more yards.
And that's the philosophy. Obviously, Utah State a stronger running team.
Faulkner wasn't sure where to go because he saw blue jerseys. Wherever there was a white jersey, there was 2 Aggies right there. I just think he really just thrown that away.
I think so, but good pressure this time. Probably only the second time in the game. This time Garner and Lapuahu, just with that front 4, able to get pressure on Faulkner. Just had to dump it and get rid of it. And now a 3rd and long. Utah State has got to get a stop here and get the football back. This is a critical play early in this ball game for this Utah State defense.
Spartans 3 of 5 on 3rd downs, converting their last one. Picking up 14 yards. Faulkner, no pressure coming. Plenty of time. Tuitupo, did he make the catch? Almost like he picked it off the field turf, but that is a reception. It'll be short of a 1st down. So Peter Tuitupo, who you know well, started out at Wazoo, then went to Snow, and now he's a Spartan.
You know, a kid out of Orem High School. Had a couple of good years down at Snow College. Went to Wazoo, didn't really work out for him there. Came back to Utah, didn't work out there. Sat out a year, and is now at San Jose State and making a contribution. But a good job by the Aggie defense to hold him short and get the football back.
4th down, Harrison Wade set to punt. Rugby style, trying to get it inside the 20. Some speed on it, but now it dives, and look at this. Inside the 5 is where this will be marked. Terrific job by Harrison Wade. That's now his 14th inside the 20.
We were told that if he punted above 4,000 feet in altitude, he'd be the best punter in the nation. Punting at sea level, not quite as good, but very effective in this particular instance.
Lawrence Fanning with that nugget. SID of San Jose State. That was a 47-yard punt going out inside the 5. That's some good stuff. So the Aggies backed up. Got to get that offense going. It looked like they were going to crank things out at the 1st quarter. Here's Turbin again. They've been able to run the football. But, boy, Spartans' rush defense, more impressive than what I gave them credit for coming in. Well, KCSG is the TV home for Utah State. Next telecast will be Saturday, November 26th against Nevada. That's our next football telecast, but basketball next Saturday. Southern Utah comes to town. That'll be a 7 o'clock tip-off. I don't know if the spectrum is going to be as nuts as it was last night with BYU, but Aggies with 3 in-state matchups to begin this season. Here's Lloyd with the 2nd catch. Has enough for a 1st down. That's a nice play. Involving the tight end, Lloyd.
A little drag, hold your block for a couple seconds, then bounce it out. Nice little bootleg action. Good play for Utah State to get that 1st down. And now maybe with the sun coming out, a little bit of blue sky, maybe that'll warm up this Aggie football team. They looked a little just lethargic here in the first quarter.
Here is Kennedy. Turbin, boy, nowhere to go. Try to keep his footing, unable to do so.
You're right, though. That spectrum, what a place for a basketball game, isn't it?
It gets loud in there.
I know you had a hard time hearing even the officials' whistles last night on a couple of occasions.
Yeah, the play continued because nobody could hear the whistles.
Looks like Coach Morrill's going to have another good squad.
Picked 3rd in the WAC by the media. Pardon, by the coaches. The media picked him 1st. Delayed draw here by Robert Turbin. Spinning his way to about the 24-yard line.
That's a play that more and more teams are starting to implement now, that little sprint draw with an angle cutback. Saw it a lot last week. Was it Oregon maybe that's running that play? Oklahoma State running that play to a large degree of success. Now a 3rd and 4. Key again. Utah State needs to keep possession of this football and keep this drive alive.
Kennedy's pass is caught by Morrison. He's got a first down. Continues that whack streak of catches.
And nice job. He got to the first down marker. He caught the football, and they gave him a good spot. This is actually kind of where he caught the football, and then he came back as he was hit by the defender. But that was a good mark and a good spot for Utah State, giving the Aggies an extended first down.
Talking about Morrison with the 2 fake punts last week, was named Special Teams Player of the Week by the conference. Trying to bounce it to the outside, and Smith was caught in the backfield. Duke Iheanacho, the fine safety, comes up and makes the play. Of course, his brother Carl was a 2-time WAC defender.
Great name, Duke Iheanacho.
Senior from Carson, California. He has 1 interception, one of the captains on this team. But just a marvelous player. In 08, had a pick 6 against the Aggies. Here is Kennedy. Pocket holds up to Smith. Gonna pick that across the 30 to about the 31. So 3rd and long now coming up for Utah State. They need some explosive plays. Their offense, that's what they've been known for, is those big home run plays. And we saw it on the 2nd drive with Turbin. And he had that long touchdown run.
Give credit to San Jose State's defense.
Yep.
Playing the run very well early in this ball game, other than that big run by Turbin.
2 of 4 on 3rd downs for the Aggies. Here's Kennedy. Looking. He wanted to go to Turbin. Instead he goes down the field to Jacob, just kind of throwing it up there. And Jacobs makes the catch. Holy cow. Was he out of bounds?
I think the officials' hats off. I think he came out of bounds, then came back in. Now, was he forced out?
Now, what is the college ruling on that? Even if you're forced, I don't think you can come back and be the first one to touch the football.
Now the interesting thing here is if it was touched simultaneously by the defensive back and by Jacobs, that may be what they're discussing here.
Forced out of bounds is legally returned to make the catch.
So he did legally return. Okay, well, I stand corrected. What a play by Jacobs.
If that's the case, then why do they stop the play? If he can come back in, make the catch.
Well,
why
was the knee down? I think the knee was down.
Was the knee down? You're right. Left knee went down. You're exactly right. Okay, so that's a good call by the official. 41-yard pass play. Just when you talk about the home run plays that Utah State needed. Great job by that Aggie offensive line to give Kennedy the time. And then a great catch by Jacobs.
There's Turbin trying to shake free. But Smith, the sophomore from Covina, California, hangs on, of course, leads the team in tackles. 74 coming into this one. He's played in 562 consecutive snaps on defense. He doesn't get off the field when they're on defense. So Turbin in the backfield. Kelvey going in motion to tight end. There's the screen. Turbin turning it upfield, dives to the 20. Brooks, what do you have for us?
Guys, there's a lot of ties between these 2 teams, and the teams you're talking about is with offensive coordinator Dave Baldwin. He spent 8 years total, 2 different 4-year stints at San Jose State. One as an assistant coach under Jack Elway, the father of John Elway, and then he was the head coach of San Jose. And so it's an emotional game for him to coach against a team that he used to coach. Guys, back upstairs.
All right, thank you, Brooks. Yeah, was the coach there from 97 to 2000. Was 18 and 27, but he beat the Stanford Cardinal 3 times. End around play. Just tackled from behind Jacobs at the 10 as the sun is out for the first time today. And Jacobs, how about the game he is having? You kind of think about the returns and also these catches in that run.
And the catch was huge. I think that catch to keep this drive alive, absolutely critical for this football game. The sun comes out, maybe the Aggies starting to wake up a little bit now, and Jacobs making now his 3rd or 4th big play in this ball game, giving the Aggies opportunities here close to the goal line.
11-yard pickup. Smith nowhere to go. Boy, Spartan rush defense very good here, which is a huge surprise because they give up 193 yards per game. That's 97 in the FBS.
And I thought that that Utah State coming in averaging 267 yards, again, very diverse in the run game, including this kind of play, the reverse, getting your speedster out on the edge, one ankle tackle away from scoring. I thought that was going to be the key. If they could hold Utah State under 200 yards today on the ground, they were going to have a chance to win this ball game. And thus far, they are playing very strong against the Aggie run game.
Smith against Smith. That time Kevin beating Michael, who tried to bounce to the outside. Looked like he might have something there, but Kevin Smith, the sophomore, with another tackle.
Again, just the counter Trey, the play that Turbin scored on earlier, but this time defended very well by that San Jose State defense. They're going to force Kennedy to make some plays. It's obvious that they're game planning to try to make Kennedy beat them.
Three receivers to the near side. Kennedy fires, looking for Morrison, incomplete. So fourth down coming up, and they'll send the field goal unit team on.
When you have a week to game plan for a quarterback, a second-team quarterback that doesn't have a ton of Division I experience, it's much more difficult. He came in last week against Hawaii and just lit it up. Really, Hawaii not ready for that. The week, San Jose State obviously very well prepared. Kent Bear, the old Aggie defensive coach, the defensive coordinator for San Jose State, has got a great game plan here today.
27-yard field goal attempt. Missed it. So Thompson, who's done a nice job on PATs, unable to hit the 27-yarder. We come back, Spartan ball taking over after the missed field goal by the Aggies. I think to me the surprise of the game is the fact that the Spartans have done so well on their rush defense against Utah State's running game, which is one of the better running games in the FBS.
Agreed, and they've also done a very nice job with their own running game, of at least keeping some balance.
Yeah, the attempts.
Yep.
Raleigh gets it again. Minimal pickup, but keeping that defense honest, as it were.
But a 27-yard field goal, you've got to cash in on those kind of opportunities. We talked about special teams, and Coach Anderson said D- is what he would give his special teams in terms of their grade. And now, a little bit of a challenge here. A new center coming in for San Jose State. As big number 55.
Not too high.
Not too high, that's right. Good snap.
This is cut on that far side for a first down. That's Chandler Jones, the sophomore from Los Angeles, who's on the Paul Hornung watch list for his performance against Hawaii. We talked about those 3 touchdowns earlier against the Warriors. Pickup of 12 yards. So even when they're not getting chunks on first down, they seem to pick it up on second down. That time nowhere to go in the running game.
And you get the feel, and you talked about it earlier, where Utah State has not created a lot of turnovers on defense. They need one. It feels like right now they need one desperately to flip the momentum of this game. It just feels like they're getting kind of slugged right now on both sides. On the offensive side, they're not able to run the football. On the defensive side, they're just dinking and dunking and getting chunks of yardage, keeping possession of the football. They're winning the time of possession battle. It just feels like Utah State's got to create something.
Here comes a blitz from the secondary. Finally getting some pressure on Faulkner, and it's incomplete in the direction of Rutley. But they brought Alfred Bowden coming in and got pressure on Faulkner.
And I think Coach Anderson realizes it. We're not getting pressure with our front four. We got to dial it up just a little bit. Let's bring some different blitz packages. Let's put some pressure on Faulkner. Let's create something here. We've got to create something to pick our spirits up. We're just kind of lethargically moving through this football game. Let's do something on defense to flip the momentum.
3 of 6 on third downs. Motion by Grigsby. Pocket collapsing, and they got to him again. They put pressure on the pocket, which you have to do to disrupt the timing of the offense, and they haven't been able to do that. And virtually this entire first half, they finally do that time, and they force that errant pass.
And Faulkner not nearly as comfortable when he's got pressure in his face. Of course, no quarterback is, but he's looked awfully comfortable throughout this first half. But as the Aggies have gotten some pressure now, dialing up different blitz packages as Coach Anderson that is what's made the difference here in this last possession.
Just a minute and a half left. Here's another rugby-style punt. Last one was 47 yards and was inside the 5. This one will be inside the 20. So special teams has certainly been the Spartans' advantage. 1:23 left. Spartans still on top, 20-7. Aggies down 20-7. Still enough time for them to get back in it, but the last thing you want to do is turn the ball over in this situation. Robert Turbin just needs 6 more yards, and he's got 1,000 for the season. They appear to be throwing the football in this one. Don't know who that was intended to. He had Jacobs and then Morrison. It was kind of in between both of them.
Yeah, Morrison running a little slant route and then a little deeper post cut by Jacobs. You're right. Kennedy throwing it in between him. He's 8 of 11 for 100 yards, but 41 of those came on that long catch by Jacobs to bail him out. Just hasn't looked comfortable.
See if he can get things going here in this last minute. He's in trouble. Weaving his way across the 20. Close to a first down. See if Utah State will burn a timeout here. The clock's still moving.
At 3rd and short. Probably try to get it to Turbin here to get the first down. Keep the drive alive.
Does pick up the first down. They'll stop the clock momentarily. Shoving match here with Austin. Oh, a punch was thrown. This will stop the clock and then give Utah State an additional 15 yards.
Timeout.
Couldn't tell if that was Smith. No, it was Ben McCurry. It was the reserve corner of Ben McCurry and Austin kind of mixing it up. And Benet just kind of threw an open-handed hand at him.
And they may eject him for that play. Immediately off to the sideline, helmet off. Let's see if they've actually ejected him from the ball game.
Dead ball, personal foul. Number 21 on the defense. Also offsetting number 4 on the offense. Penalties offset, first down.
I'll tell you why I don't like this call. Normally I don't get into it. They both were giving it to each other, but then watch the hand come out here, right there. So to me that was pretty clear that Benet should have been, the only guilty party there. I thought the other one was just kind of tied up. I mean, that's just football. But the slap to the helmet, that's a big surprise for me.
That's automatic, I thought, is that they should have, anytime there's a punch thrown or a slap to the head, that's an automatic. Austin still just kind of jostling with him. Nothing really, out of control.
That's football,
Yeah, absolutely.
There's Kennedy rolling, still looking. Gets about maybe 2 on the play, trying to get something. Does stop the clock, though, with 48 seconds. Didn't want to force it into a bad situation.
Still just doesn't look very comfortable. And, again, with a week to prepare the defensive game plan, Coach Bear, who's been around for years and years, knows how to do it. He's got a good game plan going today for this San Jose State defense.
73 graduate right here at Utah State. Pressure coming, going to swing it out to Smith. Got to get out of bounds. And does so, stops the clock with 41 seconds. 3rd and long coming up for Utah State.
And really nothing except for the great catch by Jacobs down the field. Everything's still short.
Yep.
The game plan really hasn't changed. I thought that Utah State's game plan, they would stretch it a little bit more with Kennedy's big arm, but they have just been bottled up on everything from the pass game to the run game. Great job by Kent Bear and that San Jose State defense.
3 receivers to this near side, going deep, and it's going to be intercepted at the 40. Morrison going to try to bring him down and does so. So Thompson able to hang on that time. He was the victim of that ricochet to Austin, but that's the one thing you couldn't do in that situation is turn it over. 32 seconds left, and the Spartans have done well offensively. They've got a chance here to add on to this 20-7 lead.
Acts a little bit like a punt, but still, and I know it was 3rd down, so you got to take a shot to try to get the first down, but woefully underthrown, woefully underread. Kennedy looking a little shaky right now on the offensive side, and of course they haven't been able to really establish the run game, so hasn't taken the pressure off him as much as they would like to do. Now the Aggies have got to eliminate any sort of scoring opportunity for San Jose State.
They're going to keep it on the ground. That's a surprise to me. They don't try to add on to it. Quinn Gardner makes the stop. The defensive line position.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by that too. I thought they would take a shot down the field at least to try to get it into field goal range, because they're going to be kicking off to Utah State to start the second half.
It's a team that averages 23 points. They have 20 right now. They think that they might try to get a little bit more, but going to go the conservative route here. Down to 4 seconds. This will be the final play of the half, barring a defensive penalty. And wide open. It's caught at about the 30-yard line. As Carr finally goes down about the 29, and that's how the first half comes to an end. Not a good one for Utah State, but remember, they were trailing 28-7 against Hawaii in the second half and came back and won the game 35-31. They need that type of an effort to beat the Spartans here today on the snow field of